UN just adopted Pact for the Future, which lays the foundation for a new global order. Hey everybody, JT here, Serenity Farms prepping. So, we've all been a little distracted lately with assassination attempts and Camaho out there, new way forward, new pandemics, you name it, they're throwing it out there. Zionist Israel's genocide of innocent women and children in Gaza and now Lebanon, Iran scam. So there's a lot going on. And it's easy to not pay attention to actual true things. Of course, the UN didn't make this new pact public, but let's read a few excerpts from it, shall we? As we said, while everyone was distracted, the global elite got exactly what they wanted. The UN adopted the Pact for the Future on September 22nd, and the mainstream media in the Western world almost entirely ignored what was happening. Instead, the headlines urged us to just keep focusing on Camaho and Trump. Sadly, the vast majority of the population has never, ever heard about the Pact for the Future, and so there was very little public debate about whether or not we should be adopting a document which lays the foundation for a new global order. The text of the Pact for the Future is available online, but hardly anyone will ever read it. And many of the most important provisions are buried toward the end of the 56-page document. Of course, everyone should take the time to read this document because our leaders just committed us to an extremely insidious global agenda that literally covers just about every conceivable area of human activity. And michaeltsnyder.substack.com is the guy that is publishing these excerpts, which September 22nd, 2024, a day that will go down in infamy. World leaders today adopted a pact for the future that includes a global digital compact and a declaration of future generations. The pact is the culmination of an inclusive years-long process to adapt international cooperation to the realities of today and the challenges of tomorrow. The most wide-ranging international agreement in many years, covering entirely new areas, as well as issues on which agreement has not been possible in decades. The pact aims, above all, to ensure that international institutions can deliver in the face of a world that has changed dramatically since they were created. As the Secretary General has said, we cannot create a future fit for our grandchildren with a system built by our grandparents. The UN press also boldly delivers that the Pact for the Future will lay the foundations for a new global order. Be afraid, folks. The Pact for the Future, the Global Digital Compact, and the Declaration of Future Generations open the door to new opportunities and untapped possibilities, said the Secretary General during his remarks at the opening of the Summit of the Future. The President of the General Assembly noted the pact would, quote, lay the foundations for a sustainable, just, and peaceful global order for all peoples and nations, end quote. The pact covers a broad range of issues, including peace and security, sustainable development, climate change, digital cooperation, human rights, gender, youth and future generations, and the transformation of global governments. As Mr. Snyder says, I don't want to live in a new global order that includes all peoples and all nations, and I'm sure you feel the same way. So, here's halfway through the 2030 agenda. Are we? The world is not on track to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. That's too bad. It is not too late to change course if we all rethink, refocus, and recharge. UN 2.0 encapsulates the Secretary General's vision of a modern UN family, rejuvenated by a forward-thinking, where have we heard that lately, and empowered by cutting-edge skills for the 21st century to turbocharge our support to people and planet. We will strive towards this vision with a powerful fusion of innovation, data, digital, foresight, and behavioral science skills and culture. Oh, that one sounds interesting. A dynamic combination that we call the Quintet of Change. That's 5 for tards. It is about evolution towards more agile, diverse, responsive, and impactful UN organizations. But the truth is that the agenda they intend to impose on all of us will not be pleasant at all. Okay, oh, a little dark in here. So you see that the UN, and they keep saying the Secretary General, the Secretary General. Do not think for a minute that one person is doing this whole thing. We already know the WEFers, the WHO, and many other evil scum are involved in developing this pact. But I'm not sure why, but they put in there that halfway through to 2030, they're not where they want to be in reaching their sustainable goals. They used all the trigger words like diverse and inclusive and gender and race and family and all those warm and fuzzy words. But make no mistake, this is another push, and they need some world-shattering event, catastrophe, war, pandemic, to lock everything down again, much more severe than last time, and implement all these edicts. Now remember, the plan has always been to bring every sovereign nation under one big umbrella communist family. And they have the WHO and the UN want to give themselves the power and authority when countries sign over their sovereignty that they can declare virtually anything, anywhere, a pandemic or national, in this case, world emergency that allows them to dictate to every country. For instance, if Africa has a monkeypox outbreak, they can shut down the US or Switzerland or Australia all the nations together when something has happened in a country thousands of miles away, because that's the power that they'll have. And they can do that with an economic collapse, a medical emergency, a world war, a massive food supply issue, anything they want. Oh, now you can go to the UN website and read this if you want to. It gets worse. Pay attention to this, because while we're being distracted and a likely World War, nuclear scare, pandemic thing is being perpetrated to manipulate the upcoming election selection, it will just be a precursor to what they want to do worldwide. Buckle up. That's all I got for now. JT?